we're going to help you today to assemble one of our two-door wardrobes, which is our reference 107. We are assembling the gray color, the light gray today, the G range, but of course this applies to all the colors, it's all the same construction. You will find two boxes, a large box which will have two side panels, left and right, a couple of doors, the back panels, and a connecting strip to connect the panels. And on this smaller box, you will find the base, a top, and a little internal shelf. The instructions, of course, will be inside. You will find a little box with all the assembly kit. So you're gonna find two screws, nails, some wooden dowels, a little 30 tip over if you would like to attach the wardrobe to the wall in case you have children at home. Might be a good idea. So for now, we're gonna start. Let me just clear this table because we are gonna have to assemble first the large side panels. So we'll put these smaller parts to this side for now. And then we can start on the assembly. The top. Just clear the table. You can assemble the whole wardrobe pretty much just using a Phillips screwdriver and a small hammer. But for the sake of the speed, of course, I will be using a little power drill, just cheap one, nothing special. Just put this aside for now. Just do this. Second. Right. So, the first things that I do, I like to put a little dowels at the end. You find at the end of the base and at the end of the crossbar, which is part number 5. So part number 4 and part number 5, you find little holes. So that's where the little dowels go. Oops. So a couple of little dowels each end. One in there, one in there. Turn around. Like that. So you just get it ready. And again, the same in here. You find 2 on each corner. So we got that out of the way. The best thing now is just to bring one of the side panels, just choose one. You'll find a left and right. The difference between left and right is going to be the groove on the back. On the back you'll find a groove to attach the side panel, so this will be the left hand side. But you can start with either side. So I'm going to just put this flat on the table. Always nice to use a table with a cloth or maybe carpet on the floor. Just make sure it doesn't scratch. So part number 5 goes right at the top. So we got painted to the outside. So inside is going to be unfinished. So the painted on the outside, just like that. And all we need is just a screw. So one simple screw. Make sure that it's nice and tight. That's very important because if not, the whole thing is going to be very wobbly. So very nice and tight, it's very firm. So then we got the base. The base goes in there. And again, you'll find there is one way for this, because you'll find the little holes for the magnets which go in there. So, and unfinished of course at the bottom. And in the front, and it goes that way. So literally just fit inside the little door holes. And then another couple of screws. Couple screws from the bottom. Again, same thing, just make sure that it's nice and tight. Once we've done that, we need to put next side panel on top. I will just leave this down as it is, it wouldn't make any problem. And we literally just put this one on top. be a job for 2 people. It's much easier, but for the sake of the video for now, I'm probably alright on my own. There you go. And again, same process. 3 screws, one at the end. Nice and tight. So now I'm going to just drop these on the floor, because the next step is going to be putting the top. So all we're going to do here, so I'm going to just drop this down on the floor. And I'm going to put the top. So again, the top, you will find 4 little holes for the dowels. On the top, they're just guides, so you know the top would sit on the right place. There I go, that's the top. You'll find a difference between the top and bottom, because the screws in this case will go from the top. You find that they have little countersunk holes, and of course there is a groove for the back, so you will go that way. You are. So I'm going to just get a help on my little stool. Let me just bring this. The stool today to reach. I believe it's about 6 screws. Let's have a look. There's one. So 2 each end. And 2 on the front. And so now we have our frame assembled. You will find that it's very wobbly at this stage, but the reason for that is because the back panel is still on. Once we put the back panel, that is what's going to give us the strength. So what we're going to do now, we turn this around, and I'm going to drop it back again on the table, just to put the back panel on. And that, sitting in my mouse. So on the back panel, we got the connecting piece, and you will find that you got a couple of grooves at the end. One in there, one in there. One is much shorter. The shorter one goes on the top, and the longer one. The reason is that you will sit nicely snug inside. There's no way to go wrong. It's just a one-way thing. And of course, painted on the inside and finished on the back. Then we got both sides. Move back screw. Again, the back will be unfinished, and the inside is going to be finished. So the inside, painted to the inside. Just like to stick it straight up. So, usually works just fine. There you are. Next one, same process. So you can get, just slide it in. Right, so here we go to the back panel in place. All we need now is to nail it in place. For that, you will find some little tacks, very small little nails. I'll just put them in there. And this is when we're going to need our little hammer. Just make sure, very important this stage, that the whole thing is square, because the back panel is nice and square. So it's very important that the corners, you just choose a corner at the top. Make sure that the item is square, you see, because if it's not square in here now, once you're going to put the doors, you find that it's going to be a bit of a problem. So just a few nails. I like to put one right on the connector. On the top, it should be alright if about 3 nails at the top on each panel. So 3 nails in there. Same thing at the bottom and on either side. I usually start with one at the bottom, one at the bottom, one right at the top. Go one in the middle roughly. And then we do it again. Another couple of minutes. We should end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nails on either side. Spares, which we just leave it aside for now. Right, so that's our back panel done. Now we just bring it back to the floor. It's around. And you notice that now it's pretty steady now, so it's not moving left and right. And that's the function of the back panel, of course. So all we need to do now, we're going to put a little hanging rail. So for that, we're going to need 4 screws. The hanging rail is very strong, made of wood, 2 wooden supports. The last thing, you see that one side is unfinished, the other one is not. So the unfinished side goes on that end. Few screws in there. So what we got in here, you find there is a couple of pilot holes on either side, right at the top. So all we want to do is just fit one side. Just find a little hole. One in there. other side, huh? One screw side. This is the second one. So that's our hang rail. The next step now is to add the magnets. We got 4 magnets, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. And you come in a little pack with all the screws inside. Just like to open them up. As we start again, you'll find a couple of pilot holes. They'll be facing to the outside. Just position the little screws. I usually put it in the middle because you can adjust. I usually just put it right on the middle of the little hole. It usually is on the right place. So there's 2 at the bottom, and then we have 2 more at the top. Same process. Again, you will find the pilot holes on the wooden bar. The last one. So those are the 4 magnets, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. If you need any adjustment, if the door is not flush, just move them front and back as if you need it. So just make sure the door is flush. And then the last step, of course, we got the doors. Oops, let's just line. Next step, we can just fit the shelf. The shelf just sits pretty much on the little support. So very simple. Let's just bring this up. The last little screws here are for the doors. So you'll find 2 doors. The little hole is right in the middle, so this door could be fitted on the left and right. The difference between them is that one of the doors, let me just grab the other one first. You'll find that one of the doors doesn't have a lip on the attached to the end of it, to the left of it. The reason for that is that once you close the door, of course, you don't see a gap. So that's the only difference between them. I usually put the one on the lip on the left, and I believe that is what shows on the instructions. You find the instruction says door with lip, which is part number 11, on the left, and door without the lip on the right. So, question, I'm just putting that. For this stage, I'm gonna ask my colleague to give me a hand. Adam, you just you have to hold the door. That one first. So here is just 2 hinges, very simple. Let me just move this out of the way. Again, you find 3 holes. They already have little holes. I'll put the top one first. Literally just sit the hinge in there and put it on. So we got 3 hinges on each, 3 screws on each hinge. There you are, perfect. Can you go and get me a couple of, once it's on this, can you give me a couple of knobs? I forgot. A couple of M knobs would be alright. With these screws. So then we got our doors, nice and flush. Then we close as well. We just need to put the door, the little knobs. Have we got the knobs? So there you go. Thank you. Little bolts. So for the doors, literally just a couple of knobs. On this case, I'm using the chrome ones. There you go. Put the screws on the inside. Same process in the next door. And this should be the wardrobe. So nice and flush, nice and square. All done. I hope you enjoy watching it. Thank you.